Hey guys, I'm uploading this video as an explanation for how to play Riptide. I know that, especially in class, sometimes we can be moving too quickly or things can be a little chaotic and it can be difficult to follow along. So if you're having any trouble with the song, I'm going to explain both how to play the chords and also how to strum the song. So let's start right at the beginning. I recommend that you have your sheet with you. Here's the sheet. Let's see if I can get it in front of the camera. And you'll see at the top of this page we have 3 chords listed. I've put them both in tab. That's the version that has numbers kind of in a row. Looks similar to notation, but instead of notes we have numbers. And I also have it in chord boxes above, or chord diagrams above. And basically that's a little diagram of your the neck of your ukulele. The black dots mean where to put your fingers. The white dots mean play the string open. So the 3 chords that we have listed are D minor, C, and F. So I want to go over them each individually really quickly. C and F are definitely the 2 that we're most familiar with because we've been doing them with 3 Little Birds. D minor, very similar to F. So let's just start with C first, just to show you guys again. Now, one thing you might notice about the way I play C is I do not use my second finger. I do not use my first finger because it is on the 3rd space, or the 3rd fret. Fret is usually what I'm going to say in class. I'm going to use my 3rd finger, and that's a sort of a rule of thumb, no pun intended, because we're using our fingers, not our thumbs. But whatever fret it's on is generally where you're going to use the corresponding finger. So first fret, first finger, second fret, second finger, etc. So in C we have 3 open strings and then 1 fretted string. And that's my 3rd finger down over here. So this is what the chord should sound like, more or less. The next chord also comes up in 3 Little Birds. It's the F chord, and I think you guys are pretty familiar with it, but I'm just going to show you pretty quickly. Looks like this. So it's a 2-finger chord. I'm going to start with the first finger I have down is on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. So remember, we count from the bottom of the ukulele to the top. So this would be the 1st string, 2nd string, 3rd string, 4th string. So this is your 2nd string, and I'm going to use my 1st finger because it's on the 1st fret. And just like I said with the C chord before, the next finger that goes on is going to be on my 4th string, and I'm going to use my 2nd finger because it is on the 2nd fret. Now that isn't always the case. Oftentimes that's not possible, as we're going to see with the next chord, the D minor chord. But generally speaking, this is how you want to do it. So take a look at this, and this is how it should sound. This is your F chord. So 2, 0, 2, 0. Let's see it with my fingers in. 2, 0, 2, 1, 0. Good. All right. The last chord is the D minor chord. It is almost exactly like the F chord. 1 finger comes down. It's a 3-finger chord. So the difference is this to this. And if you can't see exactly what's going on here, I'm either lifting my 3rd finger, or I'm putting it down on the 2nd fret, the 2nd space of my 3rd string. So the 3rd string is, remember, 1, 2, 3, 3 over here. So 4th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 1st string. So the numbers are 2, 2, 1, 0. So this is your D minor chord. So if we were to play these chords in a row, the way that the song has them, we're actually going to start with all of our fingers down on D minor, and it's going to sound like this. Now, what happens in the song is, although it only says F once on the sheet, as you can see over here, let me get this straight for you, there's only 1 F, but you'll notice that there are 2 bars of F. So there's 2 kind of rectangles with the F chord tabbed in. So that means you're going to play your F chord twice. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to play through that first line, and I'm going to take the repeat. So I'm going to repeat it once. And it's going to sound like this. D minor, C, F, F again. Then D minor, C, then F again. And sometimes I do my C with my pinky. It doesn't really matter. You can use your pinky or your third finger. I recommend third finger though. So now how it would sound with singing, it would be something like this. I was scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. Oh, all my friends are turning green. You're the magician's assistant in their dream. Okay, so that was the first verse, more or less. I didn't include the ooze, the kind of the falsetto ooze in there. But I want you to be able to do this before we add in the strumming pattern. So if you want to just go straight to the song, you can see the other video that I uploaded, and you can just go right ahead. In that case, I do it with the strumming pattern. I do kind of mix it up a little bit, mostly by mistake, to be honest. But you know, you can definitely follow along either with single strums or with the strumming pattern. And if you do that, you know, you can either do it with singing or without singing. That's totally up to you guys. This is, of course, a ukulele class, not a singing class, but ukulele is definitely an accompaniment instrument, so I always recommend singing along if you feel comfortable. So, that being said, now let's take a look at the strumming pattern. So on the page, and I'm just taking a look at it right now, what you're going to see is two down strokes, and that's made clear with arrows pointing down above the numbers. On the second one, there are three what we call ties, or they're kind of like curved lines that connect to the same numbers. And what that's telling you is a tie is saying, play the first one, don't play the second one. If you're wondering why you even include the second one, it's essentially put there because it makes it easier to read, even though it might not seem that way. But if you didn't know the rhythm of this song going into it, you would want the ties to tell you exactly where these beats fell. So let's just follow it, not in terms of the numbers, the tablature. Let's just use the arrows to figure out the strumming pattern. So what we have is down, down, up, down. Or if we were to put that to beats, it would sound like this. 1, 2, 3, and 4 with claps. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Or with strums, which is definitely what we're doing. I'll do it with, why don't we do it with the C? It's a slightly easier chord to figure it out. So it's going to sound like this. Down, down, up, down. Or 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's just try that a few times, going through each of the chords so you can try to play along with me. I'll count us in this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 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 4 without counting. With singing, so it'll be a little slower. I was scared of dentists and the dark. I was scared of pretty girls and starting conversations. Oh, my friends are turning green. You're the magician's assistant in their dream. Perfect. Well, that wasn't perfect. I forgot a couple strums there. But you can certainly follow along with just the pattern that I gave you a moment ago. I think I'll end the video there. There's a couple more things to know about this song, namely what you do during the choruses. Sort of, we have what's called a fermata part, and that's where we just let the the chord ring out and we go out of time for a second. On the "They Come Unstuck" is the lyrics, so it's at the end of each verse. And then there is also a bridge section, but I think all that is going to be best seen just by either watching my other video or just listening to the song. Anyways, guys, thanks for listening, and I'll see everyone in class on Wednesday.